Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. I haven't been uploading for a while because I just finished my exams, so I'm happy that I was able to finish them and I did well on them because I try to keep an A plus A in my courses because I have military benefits where they pay for my college, and I have to maintain a certain grade for me to keep my benefits. So I'm happy that I was able to do that and now I can relax. So I have a couple of updates. I have a necklace that came in after my exam week, and it's an important necklace for me because I had it when I was younger. My mom gave it to me, and I was raised Catholic, but it wasn't so enforced aside from going to school and having religion class and going to mass. But my mom gave me this necklace, and the incentive was I buried it in a church garden because I had a wish or a prayer that I wanted to move away from New Jersey because of my haunting experiences. So I was able to do that, and I ended up growing up in New Jersey and in New England, the New England area. So I feel like it was a wholehearted prayer, and I ended up traveling multiple places and staying in a couple places throughout the years. So I really feel like it was coming in full circle when I looked online to see if the necklace that I was given was available, and they had other versions, but they didn't have the one I was looking for, and mine was a vintage quality type of jewelry piece, and I wanted to keep certain features of it, so I'll take it off and I'll show you guys, but it's my necklace here. And so I feel like it's, in a way, again, coming full circle because my mom gave me a silver version of it, or it had a clasped silver on it, but this one has gold. And this one was gifted to me by my dad because I finished my semester, and my last semester is going to be my next one coming up. So I'm really happy. I feel like it's meant to be. I love how Mary Grace was talking about soul contracts because I feel like currently being an herbalist with my certifications and becoming a master herbalist with my upcoming degree, I am fulfilling one of the contracts that I agreed to, because even at birth, like my name, uh, it translates to dark or of the Adriatic Sea, and then Leah, meadow, and then my middle name is Queen. Not the meaning of it is queen, and then my Portuguese last name is a plant nursery. Sorry. So I'm just gonna pause it and show you guys the necklace up close. Sorry for the long introduction. So this is the Jade Buddha. I wanted one that was the one that I got from my mom. So this is what it looked like, except the back was silver and this is gold. Because a lot of the newer ones, they have the backing protruding and it borders around the pendant. So I didn't want it like that, and I wanted a decent quality jade pendant. And the head is larger, it shapes around, so it isn't too small where it would look like a figure from a distance, because I like how it mainly looks like a pendant, but if you were to look at it, you would see the Buddha. And I love learning from different religions. I wouldn't necessarily say that I follow one. So I love that it isn't too distinct, but I do love the meaning behind it. And the newer ones also have the detail where it's more of the laughing Buddha. And I wanted one where there's the features, but not too distinct. And I just kept it on my sterling silver clasp. I mean, necklace, because I like the length of it. The gold one that I have growing up and the one that I received with this was 18 inches. This one's 20 inches. So I even went to my other bottle necklace. This one has a fairy, and I did meet the jewelry maker that made this. So they make them, and it's more of a one where you can find them in different types of stores because there's different designs, not just the bottle necklace. And I put Kiki's hair in here too, in the back, because with this design you can take it off, and the bottle isn't easily opened, so I didn't want to damage the cork. But it was interesting because in the Northeast, diners are popular, and that's what I was working as a waitress at the time. And there was this older person that came in not too frequently, but was noticeable enough for my manager to say, you can take this elderly man because he's weird. So I'm like, okay. And he was telling me about how his daughter loved fairies growing up, and he would put fairies in different areas of the house, like even outside the window, and it would be hanging. And so the jewelry line was inspired by her, and is really interesting because I moved not too long after that to a different area, and I didn't see the person again, but he was going to give me some of the jewelry from the warehouse, but I missed that. It's okay. But it was really interesting having that experience of meeting the fairy jewelry maker. So I'm going to put this back on and I'm going to talk about other stuff. So I also have been working with a couple of decks, but I wanted to show my new wooden keychain that I got. And this is by Meredith Dillman. She created the Kitsune Oracle. I wanted to get a keychain for this flash drive because I feel like I would take better care of it, because I had a Infantry 4 keychain, but it was a thicker metal. This one is string, so this part is broken, but it could still close. And I love it. I love it as much as I thought I was going to when I received it. And she sent extra stuff, which is why I'm going to start putting more stuff into my tarot journal, because I still have to do put away the Everyday Witch Oracle stuff. So she gave me this extra card, or postcard, and her business card, which is very sweet. She also packaged the keychain nicely too in a pink bag, because I do love the color pink. And it feels nice. It has a bit of a grip to it from the print, but I feel like it's well made. So I think it's fitting to get this right after the week of exams too, and it gives me more of an incentive to take care of it, because I've done reports weekly from the start of my major, so there's a lot in there, and my mom always taught me to have intention and have integrity and put your best work into it. So I do cherish the reports that I made, or that I wrote throughout the semesters. So during this time, I have been using decks that were a little out of the ordinary for me, because they were childlike in a way where I usually use my, not darker inner child decks, but ones that aren't as bright, but it's also getting warmer too. So I've been using the Hip Chick Tarot specifically, and this was a bag made by the creator, and she gifted it to me, so it's really sweet. To tone down the anxiety, and also because I had my uncle die this past week, and it was sad because I'm not the one that really fits in that well with the family, but he was the one that favored me. Not saying that you should favor people like that, but he saw that I was a decent person. So my other cousins and my brother, it seemed like I was more out there than them. So I also have my mom, who she works or worked in ICU during this time, and she got sick with the virus, but she said that she's getting better, and that was this past week too. So she's not going to be working anymore, and I think she's going to do an early retirement with my dad, who's going to be retiring this year. So that's nice, because I mean, they worked a lot over the years, because my mom worked the night shifts, and then when she was home, she would usually be sleeping. So I definitely hung out with my dad more. But I was asking the cards, and I was using the Wild Unknown Tarot, and I was asking if she would make a recovery, and to reference Mary Grace again, who was sick, and she also got the death card too. But I didn't have as much apprehension because I remembered that, not saying that her reading is exactly like mine, but it did make me feel better. And the unit that she was working in, she said that her unit was, a lot of the people working there got really sick, but she's making a recovery. So, sorry, I'm just kind of rambling and just talking. But the other cards that I got were the Mother of Cups, which is really meaningful for me because I do associate my mom with that card. And she's a water sign, but she's a Scorpio, but I still get reminded of her with that one. Then I got the Seven of Pentacles, which to me indicated progress, and then I got the Fool. So I know that you can go either way with these cards, but I do feel like she is being upfront because she is an upfront person. Even when I was getting piano and violin lessons growing up, and I stopped doing them when I turned 18, I would have times where I just didn't feel like practicing, and my mom would tell my teachers, and she said to tell her to practice because I was going to get a piano scholarship, but I ended up not going for that. So it was nice that I had a Russian piano teacher, Veronica Tapsoni, and she was pretty relentless, but it was awesome because when you could put any music piece in front of her and she would just play it so fluidly. Because she was disappointed that I was quitting too, which was flattering coming from her. So another card that I got was the Father of Swords, and the phrase that I remember was, "It's not over till it's over." And another day I asked, and I got the Sun card, which again can go either way with the imagery, but I feel like it is optimistic too. Since we're talking about that, I was knitting a tarot bag, but then it ended up being something else because I'm going to make a mask with it because it seems fitting with the accordion type of pattern. And I'll make the sides. But I am starting a new tarot bag with the same color because it's a scrap color. And they're diamonds. Mine looks a little different because of my starter rows in the beginning. But I like the pattern. I think it looks like clothing because I do like the continental part of it. And I've been using the 94 knitted cables by Judith Durant. So there's one pattern that isn't correct, but she does post it online. And I really love when they have charts. I just put the chart information below so I don't have to reference anything. but there's so many patterns in there. I really disregard the one that's not correct. So I would like to train more of my decks for my client readings, and it's been warmer lately, so there has been a bit of an influence of that. I'm really interested in using my Hip Chick Tarot for client readings because it's a friendlier deck to work with. I have a couple of friendly decks. Some of them are more on the traditional classic side, not too much classic, but I feel like I can use this especially in the summer. So this was my first pre-order that I've done on a deck, and it got released around August, so it was getting out of the warmer season, and I was wondering when I would use this because I got the deck and I didn't use it for the colder seasons, but I'm glad that it's coming out, and it really is optimistic. I feel like it reminds me of a show that I used to watch when I was younger, Gullah Gullah Island. I remember two specific episodes where they would teach you how to put a crab to sleep and to also for it to close up on itself, not the other thing. And also when they lived in a hot climate and they got snow and in a bucket or container and they made a snowman, which reminds me of where I am right now because it doesn't snow in this area. So it's a deck that I feel like has a lot of advantages for reading for clients. So I'm doing a couple test runs with this one. I'm also going to be releasing a Kitsune message reading, so that would be a 1-card draw. And I feel like that deck is more of an everyday type of reader. I have that deck and another deck from Lucy Cavendish that I do use. I write a lot of notes in her guidebooks because I want to have my messages, and I underline the messages that really speak to me in the book that she wrote. It's a little bit of a different experience because of my APA writing experience where it's more direct. And when the first English course that I took, it says that you can describe, but you have to get to the point. So it's less flowery, but this is more of the meditative journaling type of writing. So it goes with an oracle, but I also love the card draw that it has in here. It's the spread, the Nine Tails reading. So I'll put this up so you guys can use it if you want. I'm doing this in my journal, and I don't journal every day. I journal when I feel like it. So I've been really enjoying this spread. So if you didn't read it, I'll just read the titles. Card 1, My Power at Birth. Card 2, A Power I Developed in Childhood. Card 3, A Power that I grew when I became a teenager. Card 4, A Power I Developed as an adult. Card 5, A Power I Have Yet to Develop. Card 6, a power I possess but am not aware of. Card 7, a power I possess but do not use. Card 8, a power I use to help others. Card 9, the power I will be remembered for. So I really love this spread, and it's one that you can really think of, and it changes some perspectives of maybe what you experienced in the past, because I got an interesting card for when I was a teenager, and I got the Judgment card, and I used an oracle with it. I used the Magical Unicorns oracle with it too, and I was thinking in my childhood of how I made a lot of choices that I was like, that's not, it was true to me at the time. So in a way, I felt like I got out right at the right time, where I wasn't going to be too destructive towards my life, where it wasn't going to be too destructive towards my life. So that was a perspective that was interesting to me. I wanted to show my updated colored backs of the Sun and Moon Tarot. I just added aquatic green and I didn't want to have too much in the back, but I feel like it matches with the tarot bag that I knitted. So I used a Sharpie, and it was actually a jade color. It was the new Sharpies that came out that were the brighter colors. Another deck that I'm training with is the Slavic Tarot. And I'm sorry if you guys have seen the decks that I've shown in this video. But with this, I wanted to do smaller readings because there's so much packed information in here that I got a dog hair on my face now. So I'll be trying to get it off for the next few minutes. Sorry. But it's such an amazing reader. I feel like 1 to 5 cards is the type of reading that I would do. And there is a warmth to it. I'm going to see if I'm going to use it for the colder seasons. And one that based off of my experiences of when I got it and the price of the deck, really contributes to why I consider this my deck that's amazing for money readings. So this is the Tarot Nova. This is a deck that you can get right when you're at the front of Barnes & Noble. This is my second copy because I gave my first copy to a person that I was working with because she showed interest in it, and I gave it to her the last day I worked at the place. So it just works so well with my money readings. a part of me wants to get another higher quality type of deck for my money readings, but at the same time, I always associate them with this deck, and I don't need to replace it if I could still use it. For my longer readings, besides the Slavic Tarot that has a bit of warmth, is the Osho Zen. And I feel like it does a lot better with the larger spreads than the Slavic Tarot, because the Slavic Tarot takes a long time to go into. Another warm deck that I'm using that I am considering making it one that I can have as a choice for client readings is the Wheel of the Year. I love the orange backings with the seasons. I love seasons because I grew up with them. Because I use my Everyday Witch Tarot for my general everyday readings. And now that I am free for the next couple of weeks, I can do my monthly readings for next month early. So if you guys are curious about that, I have my monthly readings on my other channel, so you can see that. My other channel on this channel page. So this is a straight reader. And I don't mind those Scarabeo decks. I like their size and the cardstock. Sometimes I don't mind the wording at the top, but it depends on the deck. Because I don't mind borders if they frame the picture. And with the queens, they have my middle name in there, so I don't mind that either. Another deck that I don't really talk about, but it's a very soothing deck, is the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. And I love the balance of it, how she is interpreted, and I do compassionate type of goddess, but it's also balanced with the sometimes unyielding winters of the north. So this is by Alana Fairchild, and I'm sorry I didn't really say the creators of the other decks. But the Hipchick Tarot is by Maria Strom. And the Slavic Tarot is by Mai Murray on Etsy. And she's still shipping, but she's shipping less during this time, if you guys want to see her page. The Sun and Moon Tarot is a US Games deck by Vanessa DeCourt. The Everyday Witch is one by illustrated by Elizabeth Alba and Deborah Blake. So this is the back, and I'll show you the back for the Kitsune Oracle too. I'm interested in Japanese myth. I took Japanese and Russian as an elective growing up. It wasn't necessarily by choice, but Latin was always full, or I didn't put in my paperwork in on time for my electives, and I didn't want to take Spanish again because you take them in grade school. So I love the backs for the Kitsune and the Kuan Yin. And there does feel like there's a warmth to this. Some of them are landscape. I love the yaks in here. And I usually just read the tops that are italicized. So this one is Ancestral Guardians of Light. My love for you is so vast, and as you learn to recognize it, you shall see me reaching for you in every person, every encounter, every circumstance, every event in your life. You have come to this planet at my request to be a bearer of light and a way shower for others, and because you honor me in taking human form, so too shall I honor you. Look within your heart, and there you shall find me. We travel together always. There's no need to feel alone. So there's ancestry rooted in here. Not my ancestry, but general ancestry. I love the flow to this too. I was looking for the card that I read. This one is amazing. I actually own a jacket like that. This is the one that I read. But there's a lot of movement in this deck that is awesome. So I don't know how much time I have left in this video. It hasn't shown me an indication that I'm running out of time. But I love the foxes that are in here. On some of them, there are other creatures in here too. And before I got this deck, for the couple of days that I was waiting for the deck, I had visions of fire. And sometimes the Kitsune comes in different forms. So far it's come to me in multiple forms. Sometimes as a small fox, maybe orange, sometimes white, sometimes taller, and has clothing sometimes more of like just a fox, and even as Inari. So, which is a goddess in Japan too. And I'm excited to learn more about the Japanese mythology. So I think that's it for my video. I might do a review on the Kitsune Oracle, and I want to do one on the Slavic Tarot, the Hypchic Tarot. I'm thinking about the Tarot Nova because it's a deck that people don't really gravitate towards. I feel like it's one of those whim decks where you just get them because of the price and they're conveniently at the front where the cash register is. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was an interesting video. I'll see you guys in my next video.